3 disturbing summer nights. Story 1. The pool. I killed someone when I was 17. Not on purpose, not directly. But I killed them all the same. It was July 2003. Phoenix, Arizona. 114 degrees during the day. My parents had just installed a pool in our backyard. One of those above-ground ones from Costco, 18 feet across, 4 feet deep. I was lifeguarding at the local rec center that summer, making $8.50 an hour. Thought I knew everything about water safety. Turns out I didn't know shit. His name was Tommy Vega, 16 years old. Lived 3 houses down. We weren't close friends, but we'd known each other since elementary school. Quiet kid, into computers. The type who stayed inside playing Warcraft most of the summer. July 23rd, Wednesday night. My parents were in Sedona for their anniversary. Gone for the weekend. Left me alone with the house and explicit instructions. No parties. I invited 6 people over. Tommy wasn't one of them. He just showed us up. Around 10 p.m., someone knocked on the back gate. I opened it. Tommy standing there in board shorts and a t-shirt, holding a 12-pack of Bud Light he'd clearly stolen from his dad's garage. "Heard you had a pool?" he said. I should have said no. Should have told him it was a small thing, already crowded. But he'd brought beer, and I was 17 and stupid. "Yeah, man, come in." By midnight, everyone was drunk. Not blackout drunk, just that loose, invincible drunk you feel when you're young and summer feels endless. We were in the pool, music playing, someone's iPhone in a plastic bag. Hip-hop, I don't remember. Tommy was sitting on the edge, feet in the water, nursing his 3rd beer. Hadn't said much all night. Just sat there, smiling occasionally, watching everyone else. Around 12:30, people started leaving. School the next day for some of them, curfews for others. By 1 a.m., it was just me and Tommy. He was still sitting there. Quieter now. I was in the pool, floating, on my back, staring at the stars. "You ever think about drowning?" he asked. I looked at him. "What?" "Like, what it feels like. To drown." I laughed. "That's dark, man." He shrugged. "I just wonder. They say it's peaceful, after you stop fighting." "Who says that?" "I don't know. People." I didn't think much of it. Tommy said weird shit sometimes. I got out of the pool around 1:15. Told him I was going inside to get more beer. He said, "Cool." I went into the kitchen, grabbed 2 Bud Lights from the fridge, checked my phone. Texted this girl I liked, Ashley Campos, asking if she wanted to hang out the next day. I was inside maybe 10 minutes. When I came back out, Tommy was in the pool, floating face down. I thought he was joking at first. "Tommy, quit being weird." He didn't move. I walked closer. "Dude, seriously." Still nothing. That's when I saw his hand, just hanging there, limp. I dropped the beers, jumped in, flipped him over. His eyes were half open, mouth slack, not breathing. I pulled him to the edge, dragged him out, started CPR, chest compressions, rescue breaths, everything they'd taught me at lifeguard training. Nothing. I called 911, hands shaking so bad I could barely dial. The operator walked me through it. "Keep doing compressions. Don't stop. Help is coming." Paramedics arrived in 8 minutes. Felt like an hour. They worked on him for 20 minutes. Right there on my patio. Shocked him twice. Nothing. They pronounced him dead at 1:47 a.m. The police asked me questions. What happened? Was he drinking? Did he slip? Did he hit his head? I told them everything. The party, the beer, him sitting by the pool, me going inside. They checked the pool, no blood, no sign of trauma. The autopsy came back 3 days later. Cause of death, drowning. But here's the thing. The medical examiner said there was no water in his lungs. Dry drowning, they called it. A laryngospasm. His throat closed up, stopped him from breathing, but he never actually inhaled water. It can happen when someone's startled in water. Panic response, body locks up. But Tommy wasn't panicking. He was sitting on the edge, calm, talking to me. And then I left him alone. The guilt was immediate, crushing. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Kept seeing his face, floating in that pool. My parents came home early. They were devastated, not angry, just broken. We drained the pool the next day. Never put it back up. Tommy's parents didn't press charges, didn't sue. His mom came to our house a week later, hugged me, told me it wasn't my fault. But it was. I was a lifeguard. I knew you never leave someone alone in water. Ever. I quit my job, stopped swimming, stopped going to parties, went to therapy for 2 years. I'm 38 now, married, 2 kids. I still don't have a pool. But here's the part I've never told anyone. 2 weeks after Tommy died, I was going through my phone, deleting old texts, photos, whatever. I found a text message from Tommy, sent at 1:22 a.m., the night he died, while I was inside. It said, "Thanks for letting me come over. I needed this." I never heard my phone buzz, never saw it until later. I texted back, "I'm so sorry." Message failed to deliver. I don't know what he meant by, "I needed this." I don't know if he slipped, if he had a seizure, if it was an accident, or if he went into that pool on purpose. I'll never know. But I think about it every summer. Every time it gets hot. Every time I see a pool, and I wonder if I could have saved him, if I just stayed outside. If you have a pool, watch your friends, watch your kids. Don't ever assume 10 minutes is safe. Because sometimes, 10 minutes is all it takes. Story 2. The Heatwave, August 2019. London. I'm American, but I was living in Camden at the time, working a contract job for a tech company in Shoreditch. If you've never been to London in August, you need to understand something. British buildings aren't designed for heat. No AC, just hope and suffering. That summer was brutal. Record-breaking. 38 degrees Celsius, over 100 Fahrenheit. My flat was on the 4th floor, top floor. No elevator, 1 window, no fan. Fucking unbearable. I wasn't sleeping. Nobody was. The whole city felt delirious. Tube stations smelled like sweat and rage. People snapping at each other over nothing. I lived alone. Studio flat, maybe 300 square feet. Barely afforded it on my salary. Next door, separated by a thin wall, lived an older woman. I'd never met her, never even seen her. But I heard her, coughing, watching TV, moving around at odd hours. The landlord, this guy named Raj, who owned half the building, told me her name was Mrs. Paisley, widow, been there 15 years, kept to herself, fine by me. I wasn't there to make friends. But during the heat wave, I started hearing her more. Not just coughing, talking. To herself, I assumed. Late at night, 2, 3 a.m., I'd hear her voice through the wall, muffled. Couldn't make out words, but constant. One night, around 3 a.m., I knocked on the wall. "Excuse me, could you keep it down?" Silence. Then, louder, talking, almost like she was arguing with someone. I knocked again, harder, nothing. I gave up, put in earplugs, tried to sleep. This went on for a week. Then, On August 7th, hottest day of the year, the smell started. At first, I thought it was the bins, garbage piling up because the heat wave had the sanitation workers on strike. But it was coming from inside the building, from her flat. I mentioned it to Raj when I saw him in the hallway. "Mrs. Paisley's place smells like something died." He frowned. "She's probably just not taking the rubbish out. Old people, you know. Can you check on her?" He said he would. 2 days later, the smell was worse. I knocked on her door. No answer. I called Raj. "Seriously, man, something's wrong." He came over that afternoon, knocked. No answer. He opened the door with his key. The smell hit us immediately. Mrs. Paisley was on the floor, in the hallway, wearing a nightgown, dead. She'd been dead for at least 5 days, the coroner later said. Heat stroke, dehydration, possibly a stroke. Alone, in 100-degree heat. No one checked on her. I felt sick, guilty. I'd hurt her. I'd been annoyed by her. I'd knocked on the wall and told her to shut up. But here's the thing that still keeps me up. After they removed her body, after the police left, I went back to my flat. That night, around 3 a.m., I heard her voice again, through the wall, talking, same muffled tone, same rhythm. I froze. Her flat was empty. I got up, pressed my ear to the wall. It was her. I swear to sell, God. Same voice. I called Raj the next morning. "Is someone in Mrs. Paisley's flat?" "No, why?" "I heard someone." He laughed. "Mate, you're stressed. It's the heat. Get some sleep." But I kept hearing it, for 3 more nights. Then it stopped. I moved out a month later. Couldn't stay there. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't. But I also don't know what I heard. Maybe it was pipes. Maybe it was another neighbor. Maybe I was losing my mind from the heat. Or maybe she'd been dead longer than 5 days. Maybe she'd been dead the whole time I was hearing her. And if that's true, who the hell was I hearing? Check on your neighbors, especially in the heat. You never know who's alone, who's struggling, who's already gone. Story 3. The 4th of July, July 4th, 2022. Tampa, Florida. I'm a nurse. ER. 12-hour shifts. I've seen everything. Overdoses, car crashes, gunshot wounds, heart attacks. You get numb to it after a while. But that 4th of July, I saw something I can't forget. It started normal. Busy, but normal. Fireworks injuries, burns, missing fingers, some idiot who tried to launch a mortar from his lap. Around 11 p.m., paramedics brought in a kid, maybe 6 years old. Boy, blonde hair, wearing a Captain America shirt, unresponsive, pulse weak, temperature 105, heat stroke. Parents were hysterical. Said they'd been at a barbecue, backyard party, lots of people. They thought he was playing with the other kids. When they found him, he was in the garage, locked inside, passed out. They didn't know how long he'd been in there. We got him stabilized. IV fluids, ice packs, cooling blankets. He woke up around midnight. But he wasn't right. He was staring at the ceiling, eyes wide, not blinking. I asked him his name. He didn't respond. His mom tried. "Sweetheart, it's Mommy. Can you hear me?" Nothing. Doctor ordered a CT scan. Checked for brain damage. Came back clean. But the kid wouldn't talk. Wouldn't look at anyone. Just stared. Around 2 a.m., I was checking his vitals. He grabbed my wrist. His grip was strong. Too strong for a 6-year-old who'd just been near death. He looked at me, and he said, "He told me not to tell." I froze. "Who told you?" "The man in the garage." My blood went cold. "What man?" The man who locked the door. I immediately called the doctor, called the parents back in, called hospital security. The parents swore no one else was at the party. Just family, friends, people they knew. Police went to the house, checked the garage. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing. The kid wouldn't say anything else. Eventually, he fell asleep. He was discharged 2 days later. Physically fine. But I did some digging, called a friend who works in social services. Turns out, 3 other kids in Tampa had been treated for heat stroke that same week. All found locked in garages, sheds, closets, all around the same age. All said the same thing. A man told me to stay quiet. No arrests, no suspects, no explanation. I don't work in that ER anymore. But I think about that kid, about what he saw, about who locked that door. If you have kids, watch them, every second, because someone else might be watching too. 3 summers, 3 nights. 3 things I can't explain. Maybe they're coincidences. Maybe I'm reading too much into random tragedies. Or maybe summer does something to people. The heat, the darkness, the way time feels slower, heavier. I don't know. But I do know this. Some nights stay with you. And some things, once you see them, you can't unsee. End it.